The F-15EX Eagle the Sioux breaks the rules everyone thought were final. While everyone expected the age of stealth to end the time of older jets, one aircraft refused to fade away. The F-15EX shattered all predictions. It proved that raw payload, modern electronics, and huge firepower can still control skies filled with stealth rivals. The true surprise is not that the jet survived, it is that it became even more important. The reason is simple. The F-15EX is the only fighter built to carry the kind of missile load that can reshape an entire air battle in seconds. This jet's increased payload and new systems let it work as a long-range, heavily armed missile truck. It helps stealth jets instead of fighting for their role. This shift changed everything about modern air dominance. The simple truth is a contradiction. In a world focused on stealth, the most feared jet in the US might be the one that does not hide. The F-15EX earns its place through force, reach, and sensors that put it in a category of its own. Stealth jets slip into enemy airspace unseen. The F-15EX stays farther back. It watches, coordinates, and unleashes more firepower than any other fighter can carry. This combination restores control that the Air Force was in danger of losing. To understand why this matters, imagine a modern battlefield packed with enemy stealth jets, strong radar, long-range missiles, and dense electronic warfare. A single F-35 or F-22 can survive inside that chaos, but it cannot carry enough weapons to control it. Internal bays force stealth fighters to limit their payloads. They cannot risk their radar signature with big external missiles. The F-15EX solves this weakness. It carries up to 22 air-to-air missiles. This is more than 3 times what stealth jets can carry inside. That number alone changes the tone of any mission briefing. Commanders do not worry about if they have enough firepower. They plan how to direct the avalanche of weapons the F-15EX brings. Without this missile truck, a stealth-heavy fleet risks running out of weapons before the fight is decided. The F-15EX prevents that nightmare. It stands at a standoff range and acts as an airborne arsenal. It launches AMRAAMs, Sidewinders, and even future hypersonic weapons without ever going into the most dangerous zones. The stakes are real. Running out of missiles in a sky full of enemy stealth fighters is the one scenario the Air Force cannot allow. Every study on modern air combat shows the same pattern. Range, payload, and sensor power matter more now than at any other time in aviation history. The F-15EX sits exactly at that point. Its 29,500-pound payload gives it the largest weapon capacity of any U.S. fighter.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
Defense analysts confirm this as the key enabler for long-range missions. When experts talk about overwhelming enemy defenses, they are talking about what the F-15EX does best, firing so many weapons, so quickly, from so far away, that the defenders run out of options. This is the humiliation of being defeated by overwhelming force. But power without awareness is useless. This is where the F-15EX makes its strongest case. Its AN/APG-82 ASA radar is one of the most advanced fighter radars in the world. It pairs long-range detection with very stable tracking. This is verified capability. The radar was built to work in sensor-heavy environments where stealth alone cannot protect you. Even if the enemy uses powerful jammers or low observable aircraft, the F-15EX's radar provides clarity. This clarity is backed up by EPOSS, the electronic warfare suite. Analysts describe it as one of the most important upgrades ever added to the F-15 family. EPOSS does not just warn pilots about threats. It finds, prioritizes, and counters them with tailored electronic responses. It blinds radar, confuses missiles, and makes the large jet much harder to target than its size suggests. In past wars, electronic warfare was a support role. On the F-15EX, it becomes a frontline layer of survival. The F-15EX turns a potentially vulnerable non-stealth jet into one of the most electronically defended fighters on Earth. This combination Huge payload, advanced radar, and elite electronic defenses gives the pilot confidence in missions where fear would normally dominate. The F-15EX does not compete with stealth fighters. It elevates them. The Air Force uses it as a battle space quarterback, a command node, and an airborne magazine that feeds missiles to F-35s and F-22s through data links and shared targeting. Instead of sending stealth jets home to rearm, the F-15EX stays loaded and ready to fire. That keeps pressure on the enemy and saves the advantage that stealth fighters create. This layered approach is how the US counters the exact threats it is preparing for. Chinese stealth jets, Russian Su-57s, dense missile networks, and electronic warfare bubbles. In these environments, stealth alone is not enough. What wins the fight is sustained firepower and resilient sensors. The F-15EX provides both. Another element that restores dominance is the F-15X's upgrade path. The frame is old, but everything inside it is new. The Air Force designed it for rapid modernization. New weapons, new radars, new processors, and new electronic defenses can be added at a pace that stealth jets struggle to match because of their complexity. This makes the F-15EX a flexible, evolving asset that can adapt faster than the threat environment. Affordability also plays a role. The Air Force gets a fighter with extreme capability at a fraction of the cost of building another full stealth fleet. This combination creates confidence. You are not throwing money at a problem. You are investing in an aircraft that multiplies the value of every other jet around it. The F-15EX restores dominance not by trying to be stealthy, but by taking on the role stealth jets cannot fill. It becomes the muscle behind the ghost. It arms the silent hunters. It overwhelms enemies before they can reorganize. It makes every F-35 and F-22 in the sky more dangerous. The unexpected truth is this: the F-15EX did not just revive a legacy. It built a new military doctrine. In an era that many believed would belong only to stealth, the F-15EX proved that firepower, sensors, and teamwork matter just as much. Its increased payload and advanced electronics do not just add capability. They restore control in battles where control is everything. This is why the jet feels terrifying to adversaries. This is why, even in the age of stealth, the F-15EX stands unmatched as the long-range missile truck that keeps the sky in American hands. The F-15EX Eagle II breaks the rule everyone assumed was unbreakable. It proves that raw toughness mixed with smart systems can be just as deadly in an era focused on hidden signatures. It takes a proven airframe from the 1970s and injects it with next-generation intelligence so powerful that the aircraft becomes something entirely new. This contradiction, old-school muscle meeting modern brainpower, is exactly why the F-15X stands out today. The airframe looks familiar, but the moment you look inside the systems, the tone changes. The cockpit is digital. The brain of the aircraft is digital. The way it thinks, reacts, and sees the battlefield is digital. It is a fighter that combines the physical strength of a heavy hitter with the awareness of a modern sensor network. The Air Force did not want nostalgia. It wanted speed, payload, survivability, and intelligence in one machine. The F-15EX solves a serious problem. Aging F-15Cs were reaching the end of their structural life, and stealth jets like the F-35 could not replace their unique attributes. Losing that capability meant losing air dominance in missions where speed, height, and payload matter more than stealth.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
The F-15EX was not just a replacement. It was a rescue. It preserved capacity and brought it into the digital age. The F-15EX carries more weapons than any fighter in the US inventory. It can launch long-range air-to-air missiles, hypersonic weapons, and precision munitions all in one mission. What makes this more than a simple numbers game is how the jet uses that arsenal. Its APG-82 AESA radar can track multiple threats at extreme distances. Its Apollo SS electronic warfare suite gives it the ability to blind, confuse, or deceive enemy sensors. The systems are built on open mission architecture. So, upgrades can roll out at software speed rather than hardware speed. This means the jet gets smarter year after year without expensive downtime. This fusion of toughness and intelligence creates a powerful response: confidence. The F-15EX signals resilience, adaptability, and readiness. It appeals to those who value practical strength and efficiency. Defense analysts point out that the Eagle II can operate in contested zones because its electronic warfare suite acts as a digital shield. The pace of the narrative quickens when you look at how the F-15EX interacts with modern battle networks. Older jets had limited situational awareness. The Eagle II, in contrast, communicates at high bandwidth with other aircraft and command systems. It shares sensor data, absorbs information from other nodes, and fuses everything into a single picture. Modern warfare is about controlling an entire battle space. The F-15EX becomes a leader in that environment. It can guide stealth fighters, support bombers, and manage threats miles away while still flying fast and carrying massive firepower. The urgency is even sharper when you consider the threats the jet was built to face. Rivals developed long-range missiles, advanced defenses, and jamming systems. The US needed a fighter that could survive these systems without relying solely on stealth. The Eagle II's resilience matters here. Its engines give it speed to escape. Its structure gives it strength to endure. Its digital warfare suite gives it the ability to fight through electronic attacks instead of avoiding them. Without a platform like this, certain missions would become too risky or impossible. The F-15EX fits with stealth aircraft rather than replacing them. Stealth jets like the F-35 can enter defended airspace quietly, while the F-15EX can remain outside the highest threat zone and launch weapons deep inside. This combination forces adversaries to defend against multiple types of danger at once. It multiplies pressure and increases options. True power comes from coordination, not isolation. The F-15EX proves that evolution can be more effective than reinvention. It stands as a reminder that strength often comes from knowing how to upgrade what is proven. The F-15EX Eagle II's return to prominence proves that raw reliability, proven design, and real operational flexibility can outperform experimental stealth aircraft in ways that matter every single day. This jet does not rely on mystery or hype. It relies on decades of real missions, real data, and real results. The contradiction is striking. While stealth fighters were expected to dominate the future, a redesigned classic is suddenly stealing the spotlight. How did a jet, first designed in the 1970s, become one of the most capable fighters in 2025? The answer begins with trust. The F-15 airframe has flown for more than 50 years and collected over 100,000 flight hours. It works in harsh weather and long deployments. Pilots, crews, and commanders trust it. The Eagle II inherits that legacy. Boeing extended its airframe lifespan to 20,000 hours. Stealth jets bring complexity, downtime, and early-stage uncertainty. The F-15EX brings history and consistency, a kind of power that stealth alone cannot replace. This is not nostalgia, it is recognition. The F-15EX wins because it removes the fear of the unknown. Capability wins wars. The F-15EX carries more weapons than any fighter in the US Air Force. Up to 2,900 pounds, 22 missile stations, room for air-to-air, air-to-ground, and even hypersonic weapons that stealth fighters cannot physically fit. Stealth jets hide their weapons inside small bays to reduce radar visibility. That limits weapons and mission roles. The F-15EX accepts a larger radar signature. In return, it becomes the heavyweight fighter that can take on missions stealth fighters simply cannot. Deep strike, air superiority with a massive missile load, and multi-mission flexibility. This raw firepower creates strategic fear. A single F-15EX can launch an entire wave of long-range missiles while staying far from danger. It can become the weapons truck that stealth fighters lack the capacity to be. It can do it all without requiring a massive maintenance footprint. Stealth jets are expensive to maintain. They require delicate coatings, specialized hangars, and strict procedures. Every hour in the air means many hours of servicing. The F-15EX is cheaper to fly and faster to prepare. Commanders fear losing operational availability. The F-15EX solves that fear by giving the Air Force a fighter that is ready, durable, and available. The F-15EX's open mission systems architecture allows new weapons, sensors, and software to be integrated quickly. No redesign, no complicated stealth adjustments. This is a major cost advantage. The F-15EX can receive cutting-edge tech right now. Hypersonic weapons, new data links, updated computers. The Air Force can adapt the jet at the speed of software, not the speed of airframe redesign. Its EPOSS electronic warfare suite is one of the most advanced defensive systems in the world. Its AESA radar is powerful, long-range, and capable of tracking multiple threats. This matters because stealth is no longer a guaranteed shield. Modern sensors, passive detection systems, and new radar technologies can reduce its effectiveness. The F-15EX leans into that shift. With strong sensors and strong jamming power, it survives not by hiding, but by fighting back against enemy detection. The Eagle II proves that a fighter with excellent sensors, strong electronic warfare, and heavy weapons can remain deadly even when seen. Being visible does not make you weak if you are powerful enough to destroy the threat before it reaches you. The F-15EX does not replace stealth fighters. It makes them better. It complements them. Stealth jets can break into defended airspace quietly. The F-15EX can follow behind with massive firepower. Stealth jets can penetrate. The Eagle II can dominate. Together, they form a layered air-dominant strategy. The F-15EX is the backbone of that family because it fills the gaps stealth aircraft create. It carries what they cannot. It flies as often as they cannot. It survives situations where stealth does not work. The surprising truth behind the F-15EX is that its range and endurance are a message that the United States plans to project air power across the planet and fight wars over multiple continents. The jet's numbers show a strategy to reach far-off battlefields, stay there longer, and respond to global threats faster than anyone else can move. The F-15EX was engineered to fly far without stopping and stay in contested airspace without support. With conformal fuel tanks and increased internal fuel, the jet can cross oceans or patrol huge regions without needing a tanker every hour. This reduces dependence on refueling aircraft. It means fewer bottlenecks and fewer weak points. Range equals presence, and presence equals influence. Endurance means staying long enough to secure air superiority, protect ground forces, and control decision time. The twin-engine design and efficient fuel burn let it loiter over distant battlefields far longer than older fighters. Long loiter time is leverage. It gives the United States control over the tempo of the fight. The F-15EX was built to make sure the U.S. does not risk losing territory, allies, or credibility. The U.S. needed to solve how to fight in multiple regions: Asia, Europe, the Middle East. When conflicts force a military to stretch thin, the F-15EX answers through power projection. With long range and heavy payload, it can take off from fewer bases, fly farther, and still arrive with enough weapons to matter. This reduces pressure on overseas facilities that are vulnerable to missile strikes. The Air Force sees the F-15EX as a multi-theater tool, not just a regional fighter. It is a global jet that can shift military weight from one crisis to another without losing momentum. Adversaries know the jet's Mach 2.5 speed means it can redeploy faster than many threats can grow. When a single aircraft can both strike deep targets and secure the skies, it reduces the number of assets needed in a crisis. The F-15EX's huge payload, control over large airspace, and coordination with stealth aircraft is vital in a multi-continent conflict. It gives the U.S. the ability to adapt instantly. The aircraft's endurance also supports strategic deterrence. Deterrence works only if capabilities are visible, credible, and persistent. The F-15EX checks all three. It can fly long distances to show presence. It can stay long enough to signal commitment. And it can carry enough weapons to make any opponent think twice. The F-15EX increases the cost of aggression by guaranteeing that the US can respond anywhere, anytime, with full strength. That knowledge shapes behavior and pushes rivals to hesitate. The F-15EX neutralizes the threat of distance by shrinking the world. Adversaries know they have less time to act before the US arrives. Range gives reach. Endurance gives presence. Presence gives power. Power gives deterrence. Deterrence gives stability. The F-15X Eagle II's electronic warfare suite might quietly outclass the stealth jets it escorts. The Eagle Passive Active Warning Survivability System, EPWSS, is an electronic brain so advanced that it can outperform the very stealth fighters built to replace it. In the age of electronic warfare, invisibility alone is not enough. Sometimes the loudest jet on the battlefield becomes the smartest. Stealth alone is not the unstoppable shield it once was. Countries are building radars specifically designed to burn through low observable signatures. The US needed something that fights back against enemy sensors directly. The F-15EX does not try to disappear. It reaches out into the electromagnetic space and bends the fight around itself. EPWSS is a full electronic combat suite that listens, analyzes, tracks, and reacts in real time. It can detect threats passively without revealing its own presence. In tests, EPWSS identified and countered advanced threats with accuracy that stunned observers. It can sense enemy radars before those radars even complete a lock. It can jam, confuse, and break the enemy's kill chain long before a missile leaves a rail. It does all of this while talking to every friendly aircraft around it. The F-15EX becomes a coordinator, almost like an air battle quarterback. While stealth jets slip forward, the F-15EX sits farther back, scanning the electromagnetic battlefield. If an enemy radar searches for the F-22 or F-35, EPWSS can see the signal, identify its type, and jam it before a lock is made. Stealth planes avoid detection by shaping their radar signatures. The F-15EX avoids detection by blinding the things that would detect it. Stealth is passive. EPWSS is active. The F-15EX uses the strength of an older airframe, huge power generation, and room for new systems to carry one of the most advanced electronic warfare suites in the world. If EPWSS can deceive and disrupt the sensors designed to find stealth jets, it means the old rules of air combat are evolving. The problem facing modern air forces is that the electromagnetic spectrum is becoming crowded and dangerous. China and Russia have invested in massive ground-based radars that do not rely on a single frequency. This makes stealth less of a perfect shield. EPOS provides a solution. Its algorithms are built to break apart radar waveforms, identify their purpose, and target them with jammers that adapt on the fly. Instead of hiding from sensors, EPOSSS turns sensors into targets. Air Force officials openly say that EPOSSS is one of the most effective EW systems they have ever fielded. The secrecy around its capabilities suggests that what we know publicly may be only a fraction of what it can actually do. When the US hides something in the EW domain, it is usually because it works. The F-15EX's job is not to slip past radars, but to dominate the electromagnetic space so completely that enemy systems never have a chance to see what they are looking for. Hypersonic missiles, anti-access bubbles, and long-range air defenses are central to modern strategy. In that environment, the ability to jam, disrupt, and deceive matters more than ever. EPOSS gives the US a tool that can punch holes in even the most advanced detection systems. It means the F-15EX can escort stealth jets with a level of protection that stealth alone cannot provide. The F-15EX enhances stealth. It fills the gaps that stealth cannot cover. In active jamming, it does not just support stealth jets, it may outperform them. The idea that a fourth-generation jet quietly surpasses the electronic capabilities of stealth fighters is not fantasy. It is a reflection of how far electronic warfare has evolved. The F-15EX Eagle II proves that survivability in modern combat is no longer just about hiding. It is about controlling what the enemy sees. EPOSS gives the F-15EX a level of electronic control that places it at the center of future air warfare. The F-15EX Eagle II forces military leaders to confront a simple question. Should America modernize what already works or replace it with something completely new? The F-15EX proves that a 50-year-old airframe, upgraded with modern electronics and weapons, can still challenge the Pentagon's focus on next-generation stealth. This is not nostalgia, it is pragmatic survival. The Air Force is stretched thin. Legacy fighters are aging faster than replacements arrive. Budgets are limited, programs slip. The F-15X offers speed, predictability, and massive capability without massive risk. The modernization argument rests on cold, simple facts. The F-15 airframe is proven, reliable, and battle-tested. The EX variant has brand new avionics, digital flight controls, advanced electronic warfare suites, and the ability to carry far more weapons than the F-35. It launches hypersonic-class munitions. It delivers longer range, faster turnarounds, and lower sustainment costs. It can be produced quickly because the manufacturing infrastructure already exists. Analysts describe it as the fastest path to recapitalizing an aging fighter fleet. Modernization is strategic triage. The F-15EX is the answer to the question, what can we field now, at scale, without redesigning the laws of physics? Replacement advocates argue that modern threats demand modern solutions. Russia and China have invested heavily in advanced radar networks and integrated air defense systems. They believe a non-stealth aircraft remains vulnerable in contested airspace. To them, the F-15EX is a stopgap. They fear that clinging to the past delays the inevitable transition to next-generation dominance. The problem reveals the real stakes. If modernization is undervalued, the fighter fleet deteriorates faster than replacements arrive, leaving gaps rivals can exploit. The F-15EX sits at the intersection of these risks, forcing leaders to choose between rapid capability and long-term transformation. Analysts note that its payload capacity, far larger than stealth fighters, makes it a premier weapons truck for future standoff engagements. Congressional reports show strong support for rapid acquisition because the Air Force needs near-term combat power. The urgency comes from the clock. The Air Force must replace hundreds of aging fighters before maintenance costs become unsustainable. China expands its air forces faster than any nation in modern history. The US cannot afford downtime. The F-15EX program will procure more than 100 jets, costing billions that could have gone to stealth programs. Every fiscal year becomes a battleground over how America defines necessary versus ideal capability. The Pentagon must decide how long legacy airframes should remain part of this fight. The F-15EX is a test of the Pentagon's philosophy: modernize what works or build what's next. The F-15EX Eagle II turns obsolescence into a weapon. Most nations panic when a platform nears the end of its life. But the United States embraces the age, folds it into the strategy, and treats maturity as an advantage that new rivals cannot match. The F-15EX proves that an older design can evolve faster, hit harder, and adapt quicker than platforms created from scratch. 50 years of data, combat lessons, and knowledge have been fed back into the system. This foundation gives stability when the threat landscape is shifting faster than development cycles can keep up. The US does not fear aging machines. It weaponizes them. Every country fights obsolescence. Most lose, spending billions developing replacements, only to watch the threats evolve faster than their prototypes. The F-15EX bends that fear into a strength. The Air Force injects next-generation electronics, modern sensors, advanced electronic warfare suites, and standoff weapon integrations into an airframe that is already trusted. You get speed without risk, power without delay, capability without waiting a decade for a clean sheet design. The US avoids the danger of falling behind by refusing to throw away what already works. The jet's massive payload capacity outmatches almost every fighter on the planet. Obsolescence becomes an advantage when you update faster than others can innovate. When the F-15EX flies alongside stealth platforms like the F-35 and F-22, adversaries face a fight they cannot predict. The Eagle II brings massive missile loads, high endurance, and advanced electronic warfare modules. The stealth jets bring low observability and deep penetration. Together, they create a kill web that overloads enemy radars and command networks. The F-15EX does not need to be invisible. It needs to be overwhelming. Adversaries cannot separate the threat layers, so the Legacy plus next-gen pairing becomes a weapon by itself. China and Russia are trying to catch up in layered force capability. They are building new fleets while the US is upgrading an old one at high speed. A country trying to invent the future from scratch will always move slower than a country iterating from a mature core. America avoids the risk of technological dead ends by evolving something that has already proven itself. The F-15EX closes the gap between today's threats and tomorrow's technology. The US is buying certainty in the present. The F-15EX keeps the US ahead of the clock. The F-15EX is a shift in philosophy, a move from chasing perfect new designs to embracing constant evolution. Adaptability beats novelty. The F-15EX is not a symbol of the past. It is proof that the US understands the rhythm of military innovation better than its rivals. Legacy platforms are not weights dragging the Air Force backward. They are anchors that allow faster movement. The F-15EX becomes a living system, a platform that ages without aging out. The United States does not fear obsolescence. It uses it, it bends it, it weaponizes it. Dominance belongs to the side that adapts, upgrades, and refuses to let time become an enemy. The Eagle II is a blueprint for strategic resilience. What you've seen is only the beginning. America's power is just getting started. On your screen is the next video. Click the video, it opens right away, and you'll watch US jets and technology strike even harder.